EOSIO Weekly Update. EOSIO Weekly Update. EOSIO Weekly Update. Jingle.
I'm excited because this is how this all kind of started. And we haven't done this in a really long time. And it's been really cool to have all the guests and the theme days. But, you know, like you said, sometimes it's just nice to sit down and talk about what's going on in the space and just go back to our roots, kind of, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah. How are you, man? How are things?
So good. This is one lesson I've learned over this crypto winter that I'm experiencing the benefits of now. In 2016, 2017 or whatever, right? Trading. Like I'd wake up in the morning, trade, you know, do some research, trade, right? Like I was a fiend. I was trading constantly. And again, I've told this story before, but I had a buddy of mine who put money in right around the same time I did nothing for 2 years and made 10% less than me, right? And I was like, I'm decent at trading. Like not like pro or anything, but like I'm pretty good at it. Most people are not as good as me. And I'm not saying that to, you know, because I'm not that good, but like that's the thing, right? And watching people lose money in a bull market drives me bananas, and it happens too often, right? And so like buying and holding it was the lesson. Like trading, you know, if you're in the top 1% of 1%, I mean, you know, you can do some damage there, obviously, but most people won't. So over this winter, like I started, okay, what instead of trying to just you know, play chicken better, which is what trading is, right? How do I get into the circles where people are creating value, right? People creating things that people actually want to use, and doing that, whether it's with Chirp or with Uplift Art or obviously with the Uplift, I'm so busy now. Honestly, with this show, right? I mean, we're creating value by introducing your people to all the people that you know you're connected with, and the few people that I'm connected with, like that. We're basically connecting the community together in a way I really love. So I'm so busy with all of that stuff that I haven't looked at my wax stack since the first thing this morning. And wax is on a fucking tear right now. Like I should be blocked fully like every 5 minutes. But, you know, I talked to Luke Stokes from Feel this morning, who got a demo of the Uplift. He actually recorded that. It's going to be out pretty soon. And I can't wait to share that with everybody. It's really fun. All his kids were there. It was really, really cool. Right. So like this morning, I've just been like, since 5 a.m. wall to wall stuff. Like crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember like when you woke up this morning, you reached out to me and you were like, "Hey, like remember I told you what was going to happen when wax got above 5 cents?" And I was right, it happened. And I'm like, "Oh, really? I haven't even checked my blockfolio."
You're like, yeah, like making emails from Uplift Art and doing all this stuff. Actually, we need to get more people here right now.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. While you do that, I tweeted it out, but maybe it's a slow day. I don't know. Maybe I put it out too early and people forgot that it's 9 o'clock.
Could be.
But yeah, I want to. I really want to know like how normal people are dealing with this. So if you're here, drop it in the comments, because I think that's a really good kind of, you know, point to consider. Is like a lot of the people who are still here, especially in EOSIO, they're not new. We're not at that point where we're really onboarding new users in general yet. Like you see a few on Twitter that are starting to pop in and say like, now that most of the FUD's gone because we've had a little bit of price movement, right? But people are coming in and they're saying like, oh, this is interesting. But generally speaking, the people who onboard into Wax, or the people who I think are going to onboard into Ultra, like they're not really necessarily your normal blockchain people. Like they might come from other blockchain areas, but these are really well designed, easy to adapt to user interfaces, as well as with the Wombat and Womplay options, right? So the people who are here, who we see in the chats that come and visit us every week, I'm wondering like how they're dealing with this, right? Because like it's crazy. Like if you could trade sentiment, that would be where your biggest gains would be. Really, like because it goes all over the place, right?
Yeah, well, and honestly, like sentiment, I think in a very real way matches price, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's essentially
and
yeah.
this is the thing, right? And like, no matter how many times you train people to buy fear and sell, ecstasy, pun intended, retroactively, they don't do it, right? Like we all carry within us the monkey mind that makes bad, non-pragmatic market decisions, right? They've done a lot of science on this. Actually, really fascinating how all that stuff works. So you have to train your brain to think kind of opposite town of a lot of the instincts that are hard coded into how our brains and physiology are wired. But once you start seeing it, I'm like, man, like you look at a project like Wax with all the brand names that are starting to get attached to it, all of this market activity, like it, and this is something I'd love to get an actual quantified answer other than like trading or whatever, right? Which is sort of, I think it's very, very easy to game the market cap of like a DeFi project or whatever, right? So like excluding that, and maybe even including it, is a market like Polkadot even doing as much actual, real world economic activity as Wax?
Yeah, I think they're more in the design phase, and I think
it's speculation.
The support from the people. So it's interesting because I actually met a friend of mine today who I haven't seen in a while, because of the predicament that we're in with Corona and stuff like that. He was telling me that some of his mates were buying these. I forget even what it was, but buying these like NBA kind of NFTs that have like video clips embedded in them, and
like moments. Yeah, I think Ken was talking about those.
Yeah, and I like that. Like, this is kind of what we're doing, right? And he's like, yeah, like it's crazy. Like these people, they're buying these, packs for like $1,000, and then like they sell one card and one moment and stuff like that. And of course, like I'm asking questions like, okay, well, like do the players get some of this kickback? Like who owns the proprietary rights for this? Like I'm coming from like Wax frame of mind, like,
right?
He's like, no, it's on Ethereum, and you have to pay all the gas fees. And I just felt myself like sitting there thinking, wow, like. I told him, I'm like, do you know who Topps is? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So like, he's like the trading cards, because he's like a collector of, real cards and, signed shit and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, like the people behind Disney hasn't been released yet. People behind like who have IP rights from Marvel hasn't been released yet. Right. Like look at like Street Fighter. It seemed to go pretty good off the shelves. Right. So like, we're just in the really early days here. And like, it seems like collections and gaming are not even on the radar yet for EOSIO. So what happens when those get on the radar from the beyond EOS crowd, right? Like when these open up, and like why I'm bringing this up is Polkadot is still Ethereum in a way. Like it's better in a lot of ways. And it's kind of endorsed by the Ethereum community because of Gavin Wood. But it's still Ethereum, right? It's still going to be the same crowd of, I think I was reading yesterday, the market share of Bitcoin right now, I think is 55%. And the market share of Ethereum right now is 15%. So these people that are looking at Polkadot is what, maybe even if it's only 2/3 of the people that are in love with Ethereum, they're coming still from that 10% of 1% of people, right? And these people are jaded in their thinking, right? When you have all of these people that are onboarding, like, and they have a choice between Wax, Ultra, or setting up a Mu wallet, what are they going to choose? They're going to choose Wax or Ultra. They don't give a shit whether they carry their private keys or not. I mean, they leave their bank book lying around at a bar on a table when they go to get a pint from this isn't a thing that people, I'm not saying you shouldn't worry about it. Obviously, I think it's important. That's why I'm here in the first place.
Yeah.
But like all of these allegiances, all of these like not yet built projects, we're going to decentralize and save the world and free you all. Well, if we wait for that shit, we're never going to get there.
Right. Well, and that's why I'm super fascinated with, the kinds of things that, the speculation thing. And that was me, 2017, 2018 for sure. Right. Following the speculation trends. And because again, sentiment equals price. So, you can follow massive upswings by doing that. It just, that to me, that's not where, like, by the time you get into your point, by the time you get into the philosophy of it, the why of cryptocurrency, like, why are we even doing this? What's the point, right? And you sort of get to and for me, I think just a basic level of grokking that now, getting better all the time, right? You sort of start gravitating to the places that are actually doing things instead of saying things. Because anybody can say shit. You could make a white paper, last cycle and do an ICO and raise $1 billion, right? Like EOS was amazing because they actually had a piece of software and a thing that people could use, right? And look how that turned out. I mean, ultimately it turned out really well, right? But like for a lot of different people, because the whole EOSIO community, I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah, and I mean, you've said this multiple times. It's like that Block One is the one, they're looking after themselves, right? But they're the only company that's actually like really, done something logical and smart with their money. And they put it into the asset that like now all of these big name companies, Tesla, Michael Saylor, are essentially endorsing in order to beat the economy that has basically hit the ocean floor. Right?
I mean, I saw Mike Novogratz actually said something about the Saylor sort of Elon Musk thing. They de-risked the money by putting it into Bitcoin, and that's a way that I think they're framing it to other companies talking about that. And you don't de-risk by buying EOS, not right now, right? You de-risk by buying the most stable thing at scale, right? Because whales, big whales, like, sovereign wealth funds, for example. Mike Novogratz tweeted this morning that he expects a few sovereign wealth funds to start getting their feet wet in the Bitcoin space. 3 years ago, there wasn't enough market cap for them to do it, right? They couldn't do it. So that's really interesting, because there kind of is now. And when Bitcoin is 100 million, then a lot more will, right? So like, we're going to constantly see these price cycles, because, as the price inflates, they can basically move more fiat into it without as much risk. So one thing Lisa was asking in a thread before, we had a conversation with Alien Worlds, kind of showing them what was going on with the uplift. It was real fun, and so we're chatting with them about some cool fun things we might be able to do together. But I actually wanted to just make a little love letter to Alien Worlds this morning. Can I do that? Is that okay? It's like,
yeah, of course.
2 minutes. All right.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to show you this to you guys. Oh, and you got the Medium article up? That's awesome.
No, we'll pull it up because there's something I want to say on the back that you said, but let's do the love letter first, because I mean, yeah.
So I think it was Anders that I first heard about Alien Worlds from, and it wasn't like are you going to play Alien Worlds? It's like, do you have land yet? If not, what's your problem? What's wrong with you? And so, I had just made a little bit of wax from the Series 1 drop that we did with Uplift Art, where I got to turn like music into cryptocurrency. Oh my goodness. Right. And I was like, well, I'll go buy, a few land packs. Let's see what happens. And then after that, I learned, these are revenue generating pieces of property, right? They've got planets. They've got a big story. They've got, this mining experience. They've got NFTs that allow you to increase your mining ability. They've got a whole, next level game that's coming. That's going to be like a big, huge battle game. And they got these characters. They got burn mechanics to make all the NFTs, gain in value, right? So you can have NFTs that allow you to mine at a higher rate. Of course, they have Trillium, which is their in-game currency. You can mine it at a higher rate just by having these power-up NFTs in your wallet. Which honestly, this is such a good idea that it's going to become a genre. Like, this is going to be the way that other games do this. It's such a smart thing to do. And so, those NFTs increase your mining ability. And I got, I'm going to get way ahead of myself here, but, so you can basically click the mine button and you get a little Trillium, which is pretty fun, but you also might get an NFT, and that randomized discovery is like crack. Like they did their game theory on this, in a big way. It's really, really fun. So over Christmas, I got these few pieces of land and I bought a few packs. And so I had some like extra mining NFTs. And so I actually gave them to my wife's mom, my mother-in-law. And, for Christmas, it was like, here's like, $100 worth of NFTs. And she's like, Corey, what is this? what are you even doing? So I set it up on her phone and like get her. And she's the kind of person who like was playing Farmville like crazy and, you know, like just watching TV, just kind of does, you know, silly games or whatever, right? She's playing Alien Worlds. What is it? Like 3 months later, 2 months later? She plays Alien Worlds every day. She's like a grandmother, right? She plays Alien Worlds every day. And that to me was like a serious, holy crap, these guys are wickedly, insanely onto something, right? You can do it on your phone. You can mine all this stuff, you know, and you get a little bit of Trillium, but you never know how much it's going to be. And you're kind of hoping for like this random card. They actually got one, right? You can get every once in a while, you might mine, because you mine NFTs as well. You might get a good one. And so they've got a really freaking amazing NFT, and they put it on Atomic Hub, which again, my grandmother of a mother-in-law knows how to do this after 5 minutes or whatever, right? And she's like, Corery, I made like $25. Like, I made $25 selling like, and it was like a gas rigged extractor. I don't even know what the hell it was. And it doesn't matter. But like, she was excited. And so not like, I wanted to make this little love letter to Alien Worlds because it has changed the way that I think about everything. And I can't wait. Like any chance, by the way, we're going to have them on the show pretty soon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we got to get
Mike
Beats on. I know like he's a great person to talk
to. Absolutely.
Gamification wise and theory wise, like
and coding the whole 9 yards. And like I don't know Michael Yates, but Emblu knows him pretty well and speaks really, really, really highly of him as a person too, which is super fun. So yeah, we're gonna have them on. We'll talk about this because they've got big plans too. I'm really like any chance I have to work with them on anything, I'm gonna take it. That's all I'm gonna say, because otherwise I'll probably start talking about just what I want to have happen, and it's probably a little bit too early about that. By the way, you could stake, and if you stake all of your Trillium to Cavian, actually, you know what? I should probably mine while we're over here. I haven't mined yet in the last couple hours. Got all my mining gear in there. I should have shown people that too. Oops. Anyway, so this is like going to the blockchain, whiz bang, whiz bang, whiz bang. And in a couple seconds, once the block refreshes, now I could claim. Just give me like a really amazing NFT. So I got 16 Trillium, which is cool. So I think right now is about 1.6 wax for free.
Yeah, I'd like to do a tutorial on this as well. Like, I'd like to get an introduction to the gamification fun behind it, but I think like a tutorial would be good as well because, like you said, it's kind of easy to figure out. But at the same time, like, there's no mobility in the game. You gotta like kind of do.
Yeah, no, and I think getting there's a lot of dynamics actually, right? Like there's the staking, there's the upgrading, there's, you know, all these different things and more coming out. So I think having a tutorial is really good just to kind of get up to speed, and then you can kind of start exploring. So yes, Lisa Chandler asked.
Yeah, Corery is definitely part of the cabal. He's like,
yeah,
he's like the ninja in the group. He just
that's not true. The cabal is full of actual ninjas. I am more. You know that the gif of that baby doing kung fu with the dragon. I'm the dragon.
No, that was I was totally trying to be sarcastic because like you always say like about you're the only person that anyone knows that everyone knows in the cabal. Everyone else is like
yeah. That's true. I guess. I can't be the public face because Anders has a much more public face than me. Anyway, what you want to do is all the Trillium that you get, you want to stake it to the planet Cavian all the time. I'm actually going to do this right now. And then if you get enough staked, we let you into the cabal. And when you're in the cabal, you can actually earn even more rewards for mining on cabal land. Right. And so it's created this really interesting thing where you have communities that are developing around it. And the more you listen to me talk about the uplift, you're going to hear what I learned from this project.
Oh wait, just a minute. I didn't realize that aspect because that's fucking smart. There's a few things in the real world that we live in that are really smart, and you'll hear about some of them. One of them is property taxes in Germany because the Germans are really smart. If your house looks like crap, they charge you more for property taxes. And why wouldn't you invest your money into making your property look nice? As opposed to giving it to the government. That's smart hockey. I mean, in other countries, that doesn't happen. That's one thing that I'm really passionate about. The second thing that I'm really passionate about is this kind of ideology where, like, if you look at what happens in a few countries in the Middle East, essentially, the people who are citizens of those countries pay almost zero money for any gas, for any oil, for they get discounts on transportation. That makes sense. Yeah, it kind of sucks for other people, but at the same time, if you think about it, you know, we don't always treat people who come from an area with the most respect. And yeah, I guess you could look at the other side of it. People who are, you know, immigrants get paid less. But at the same time, if you're from a country that is basically sitting on like an oil well large enough to fuel, let's try not to go political, large enough to fuel like space travel for the next, you know, 100 years, like you should have a part of that if you're walking over top of it and you're a citizen, right? And this to me sounds kind of like the cabal. Like if you're part of the cabal, you actually get a bonus in your mining rewards to be able to you know, mine there as opposed to on other lands. It makes I like it. It makes a lot of sense to me, right?
One of the taglines for Alien Worlds is DAOs in space. If you go to alienworlds.io, it just goes DAO in space, which is I think is really adorable and fun. So each one of the planets is going to have their own DAO, right? Like it's going to be set up for that. So you know, staking to that planet is going to give you a governance token. It does that right now, and you'll be able to vote with that governance token, and like the percentage that goes to the miners, or the landowners, which I think is 20% right now, right? So Jimmy, if you come to my land and you mine on my land, which you totally should do, we'll put the coordinates up on there. We should totally, like, they're worth too much for me to do it, but we should. Here's what I'll do: we should have everybody who loves the show go to Alien Worlds when we're doing the show and mine on our land. And I'll donate all the Trillium to our EOSIO update account. That'd be fun.
I think it would be really awesome to do that. Like we did it with Prospectors, we did it with the Uplift. Like we're gonna have to do that on some day. So
100%. All right, yeah, maybe just the NFT game day or whatever. But I think that'll be fun. So and this is the thing, like the open architecture of this allows people like the Cabal to give extra rewards. CryptoMonkeys is doing this huge. If you and go to the CryptoMonkeys Twitter and find, like, I think they did Velas, like, or Neres, I can't remember which planet they did, but they would like joking around like, let's make Neres great again, or whatever planet it was, which triggers me personally, but I'm getting over it. We're getting better. Everything's fine. But they did a huge promotion where they set it up so that you actually got CryptoMonkeys NFTs for mining on you know, CryptoMonkeys group land, like the Cabal deal or whatever, right? Only they took it from the planet that was where people were mining the least to the planet where people were mining the most, and they did it in days, right? So that community interaction, I'm telling you, that like the stuff that we're building in the Uplift is really fun. I just talked to Luke Stokes. We're actually going to publish a video pretty soon about me demoing that for him and his kids. It was one of the most fun I've had having a conversation in a long time. And so we talked about the stuff you guys basically all know about the Uplift, right? You're going to earn rewards and blah, blah, blah. People are going to, you know, be able to own land keys, and they're going to be able to offer rewards in the same kind of way, right? And honestly, that came from watching the Cabal. Like watching the Cabal figure out that, okay, these NFTs can do anything now, right? They can map to this world, obviously, but they can map to any kind of cryptocurrency thing. So people are going to start being able to create communities outside of the game. People are going to be able to create games that just map to other people's NFTs, like Our Planet, right? Our Planet created a situation where you can stake other people's NFTs and earn their token. So they're basically like a community node, which is super smart how they pulled that off. And of course, they're going to make their own game or whatever. But it just the value proposition of owning any particular NFT is not connected just to that game, right? And because of that, communities are going to start doing whatever they want to do with them, and that's really what's going to get completely fucking insane with the Uplift. Like that's nobody's even really. I think I don't understand how big it is yet. I just have a feeling that I might.
We're not quite there yet. We're in the stage, and Anders kind of brought this up the last time we had him on the show, and with his article as well that we put out in the last show. We're at the stage right now where people kind of understand the intrinsic values of NFTs, but they don't really understand, you know, the actual value of how this is going to be implemented into games and things like this. And I like to compare it to, like, you know, people who if you look at history, right? Like in the 1600s, people didn't live on the beach because it was beautiful and it was awesome. They kind of avoided the beach because it was scary and wild and nature, right? And now, like since essentially the Brits kind of came up with the idea of the beach vacation, but look at places like Florida, look at places like California, look at places like, Mexico, Yucatan. Now, where is your prime real estate in land? It's on the beaches. So I think we're going to move away from this kind of ideology where NFTs are just this collectible item that people are using and holding intrinsically because they think that they're going to have value in the future, to a world whereby they're going to actually provide value in a different way that might not necessarily always transverse into like a real monetary value, but will transverse into like a collective experience that will also probably, depending upon the collections that you choose to implement or the games that you choose to play or the things that you choose to utilize, come together for that monetary experience. If that made sense, that was a really long ramble, but I think it was either brilliant or totally off base. I'm not.
No, I think you're at the very least you're going in the right direction, right? It's one of the things that actually Kurt talked about constantly. Like, because I love art NFTs, we make them with music or whatever. But to Kurt, he comes from like, he's a programming wizard or whatever. If it doesn't do anything, it basically he doesn't want to talk about it, right?
So that's here's where we have to have Kurt on, because I think Kurt's brilliant. I think he's a genius in so many ways. And I like having conversations with him every time I talk to him. But in my opinion, actually, it does do a lot. I think those art NFTs or
I agree.
Video clip NFTs are like a mechanism for empowerment of artists. Like essentially they allow artists like you, to throw off the yoke of oppression, and go and sell your craft to the world.
Right. No, I shouldn't say that he doesn't enjoy that at all. Right. Like I think he was even consulting on the Bitcoin or this thing. Like he gets that, right. Just to his focus has always been, how do we empower these things with magic powers, right? Nifty wizards, yada yada, are great examples. But I think I just wanted to speak to kind of where you were headed with that, right? Like the art thing, obviously for me, exactly for what you were saying. Like it allows us to monetize what we're doing in a way that is great for the consumer and great for us, and obviously lifts the yoke of oppression. I'm just totally gonna steal that now. But yeah, like the I think if you look at the NFTs that have gone up the most in value, on average, have been based on land, right? Or maybe Bitcoin origins, like land or like hyper scarcity and value, because those things are really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be like at some point when mass adoption comes, there's going to be two levels of NFTs. There's going to be the collector's editions, and those I think will include those which are used by the gamers. Because if you're gaming and you're collecting artifacts and things in the game, then I would consider that collectibles. But I also think that there's going to be another branch or another division that's actually probably they don't appreciate in value. They're just like usability. Like I keep saying this, and if somebody doesn't do it soon and I have to quit all my jobs and make it myself, I'm going to be pissed, because I really enjoy what I'm doing. But somebody needs to make an NFT that is a freaking coupon. So when you walk into the supermarket and you buy apples, the NFT gets burned and you get a 20% discount. This is like the best use case for NFTs, as opposed to these little freaking pieces of paper that you have to like cut out of the newspaper, like get put in your mailbox. Like just put your name on a freaking mailing list and let these stores send prize customers NFTs that when they're used get burned, and they get a 20% discount on apples. I mean, or just sell apples at cost instead of hiking everything up so you can discount it later. That would be the smarter thing to do, but that's not the world that we live in, right? Like the use case for NFTs, in my opinion, like for real world business NFTs, is huge. Like the other really good use case I see for NFTs is like television commercials, right? Like you have a company that goes in and they say, okay, we're going to, back our NFTs with this amount of tokens. And every time the commercial is paid, this amount of tokens gets released into your account. And when, it's done, when those tokens are done, then the NFT gets burned. It can never be played again. Right? Like these models that we're not really at that point right now, these are the things that are going to change the world. These are the things that are going to change, you know, just as DeFi or ProFi has the potential to change, you know, finance and take out the banking industry, or at least make the banking industry conform to like something that has, you know, measures that kind of protect the people who are using the system. These NFT forms are going to protect like artists, creators, and consumers alike, to be able to, I think, breach that gap between like real world middlemen and actually bring us back to a level where people can actually do shit in their lives without having to spend their whole time being a, you know, third party worker for some company that does all of this stuff for us. I mean, you know, Lisa kind of joked about the freedom, and I kind of joked about the yoke of oppression, but that's what NFTs and crypto in general mean to me. And maybe NFTs more so than crypto at this point.
This whole space. So I just had this conversation. I was talking about the conversation I had with Luke Stokes from Fire Protocol, and he went on exactly the same rant, like that all, you know, I think he was talking about the Rifkin book where we want to do a zero marginal cost society and get to this point where you know, people don't have to work. Everything's going to get automated. I mean, everything's going to get automated anyway. But looking at what's going on with these metaverses, yes, what we want to do is play. We want this other universe where we can play and create value and have fun and have the boundary between fun and creativity and connectivity and community and fellowship and all the things that we as hyper intelligent monkeys love. We just want to do that. Take care of the stupid food, rent, you know, the IRL nonsense. The robots can do that. We want to create worlds and universes, right? And we're going to do it. And that's like the Uplift is like the Atari version of that, right? Like we're going to get in and like create this whole other metaverse, and it's gonna be really fun. And he actually posted the video on Facebook already, which is real cool.
Nice. Yeah, and I yeah, sorry, Lisa, I know I didn't mean it that you were joking, but like the yoke of oppression of artists and musicians, like I'm kind of joking about that. Like I'm kind of serious, but at the same time, I mean,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, but
I like it.
There's other things that are, sorry, you're my friend and all, but there's other things that are way more important, right? And so when I look at like proof of concepts, when I look at proof of concepts about what's going on in these games in terms of governance, or what's going on in these games in terms of you know, land ownership and rights and stuff like that. And again, we're gonna get to that post eventually, but we did quote an article from Chintai today, you know, putting real estate and things like that on the blockchain. I mean, look at a third world country where you know, there's a military coup and they come in and like they just destroy the country for like 5-10 years, and then everything rolls over and all of your land is gone because you don't have ownership titles, you don't have proof of deeds, and all of this stuff can actually go on the blockchain to prove ownership, to be able to like you know, not essentially not only bank the unbanked, but actually give the unbanked rights that like up until this point in time they'd never had, right? Because there were no institutions that were, you know, able to survive in their countries to be able to do this kind of stuff. And now with blockchain, these protocols are built, maintained, and implemented globally, so nobody can take that away. Just like nobody can take your funds away, nobody can take these protocols, these smart contracts that you're running your business or your operational costs or any of the things that you choose to use it for. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, so I should probably stop. But let's go to I want to go through the Twitter thread, because we haven't done this in a while, and Twitter threads are fun. So like let's see what's going on here. So we put together this post every week. This is one of the things that we kind of started, and we go through all of the kind of, you know, we have this video, but the intent was to go through the news. And then, you know, we just realized that we're way more interesting than just going through the news, and we would let the post speak for itself. I mean, we're hoping that's what you guys are thinking, because you keep increasing in numbers. So we link all of the featured news here. And you know, pull things from where we think is important. Now, like community update number 10, I want to stop on this for a minute. There's some really cool stuff that you should definitely check out. EOS Hot Sauce and the other ones. But this community update, have you dove into this yet, Corey? Do you know what this is?
No, I haven't.
From Ultra. So Ultra is basically, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get myself into trouble here because it might have been their plan from the beginning. But from my perspective on things, and life is all about perspective. They're basically taking a page out of the Wax NFT notebook and the Aliens notebook, and now they're looking at like implementation of Ethereum, and they're looking at like a tokenomic model that goes from Ethereum, because that's where the UOS token, the US token, resides right now. They're going to allow people to transfer it over to EOS, but they're not going to make them keep it there. They're going to allow basically this cross-chain compatibility with gaming and the use case token as it exists. So that for me is super exciting, because I think, you know, sorry, Block One, we love you at times, but you really dropped the ball on this, you know, compatibility issue when it comes to other blockchains, and even blockchains within the system. So I like to see like projects like Wax or projects like Ultra actually bridging this gap for themselves and finding solutions to be able to implement this on their own for their own like tailored purposes. So yeah, I wanted to stop there. And you'll notice in this post as well, we've got like how many, we mentioned this last night. We've got 4 posts, I think, in here that have to do with basically NFTs on Wax. So check these out if you're interested. There's another good kind of interview here from our friend Jonah, which is great. This is my favorite one, Corey. I just have to put this one up on the screen because I love it. It's great. I mean, I know that
That's awesome.
I think that was the tweet of the week.
Well done. Well done. That's good cake, because it runs on gas.
I love it. So
so I was just looking at the Wax chart. And we'll get back to this. Obviously, it's really close to acting like it's breaking out. Tooling around with it, it could absolutely kind of go from here and then come back to the 4 cents range, because it's sort of still in the like year-long triangle. It might take quite a bit to break out of it. But if it goes to 7, we're like legitimately broken out of the again, year-long, multi-year-long almost descending triangle. And then, you know, we're looking at 10 cents, 15 cents, $1. Like Wax could, we don't know at all, but it could boom. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I DCA something all the time. Like I put a little bit of money in, like all the time, like not very much, but a little. So recently I've been doing it with Wax because it's just been sitting rock bottom, right? So
yep.
I'm kind of sad to see it go. You know,
I wanted it to wait until after we do the freaking pre-sale for just selfishly. I would like to sell, you know, a few $100,000 worth of land first, but nope.
I'm not in the ship, but I've got a grappling hook attached. So I'll be all right, at least until we get to the stratosphere, you know. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna go big at some point. So we went over this post with Cheney yesterday about the kind of bullish on, or sorry, with this Cheney post yesterday with him kind of last week, and the bullish on EOS thing as well.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of tweets here, but there was one I was looking for in particular that
I like that you collect them all like that, dude. I'm not even sure that I really knew that. That's good.
Yeah, they're really good. So I you know, they're 100% biased. I just take things that I like or that I follow that I think like have meaning. So yeah, again, Crypto Monkey, shout out to them because they're donating to Uplift Art. So please put that donation in there. We're going to have M Blue on tomorrow, which is going to be good. This was the tweet I was looking for. We can go back up to a few earlier because there were some good ones by Jenner EOS and some other people as well. But this was a tweet that came out by EOS Writer that had an old video. I think, if I'm correct, it was like last June or something, June 2019, about Block One and using, you know, Profi and finance and stuff before it was all revealed. But Hodl EOS put this out, and I thought this made like a lot of sense to me. And like, at Block One has over 140,000 BTC. Ethereum has 21,000 BTC on chain. Potentially, ProFi by Block One could make ETH DeFi look like a microcap. And I never actually realized this until I saw this tweet. Like, that's like, so Tesla, I did the calculations, and nobody really knows when they bought, because it came out, that tweet came out. The information came out because the report was released, right? So we don't know. They could have been accumulating for like the last year. Like, there was a theory that was flying around on Twitter that, like, potentially the reason Elon Musk pumped Dogecoin is because he couldn't say anything about Bitcoin because he was like,
no, it's true.
Something,
well,
right?
the SEC was already trying to get on him for his chat with that. By the way, I just want to give people a shout out. I threw the thing up for the you can support the show by donating wax or NFTs to 5SSQY.wham. And we're gonna take some of that as income to kind of help support the show. We got to build Jimmy's wax bag. He doesn't have enough wax. Like, Jimmy needs to have enough wax that when the price of wax jumps 10%, he starts doing the happy dance all the way through the show. Like, that's so. And we absolutely appreciate and are extremely grateful for your support. Speaking of gratitudes, we didn't do the thing yet today, but I did want to shout out.
I think we're going to close with the gratitudes.
I like it. I like it. EOS Go actually sent us a Wombat card that's super adorable. And we actually have an auction. Every once in a while we're gonna auction off some NFTs.
Oh wait, so the Wombat card, actually, the Wombat card was actually sent as part of their promo. So we gave away 3 cards last week to 3 winners of the show. So all of those people that we gave those 3 cards away to, they also got the Wombat card. Nice. How the EOS Go thing works is you buy the first one, and then they do a mathematical kind of equationary thing where they decide the rarity based on some formula that I don't understand. And then they send it to all of the people who have those cards in their account on a weekly basis for the month, and then at the end of the month. So I think our plan is to, that was kind of cool that we gave those away. Maybe we should have kept them and gave away more, but I just like people getting free shit over and over and over again. It makes us look really good.
Me too. So here's the auction that we're doing, and again, we're going to auction some of these off every single week. This auction is from the Crown Star Charts account, which is completely and totally adorable. And all proceeds of that are going straight to Uplift Donate, which of course is our big mission to build a school in Haiti for this year. So anyway, sorry.
Because this is the way that we operate, I'm just going to say it now because sometimes it's easier. But maybe we should include this in part of our. We should showcase the auctions for the coming week in part of our EOSIO Weekly Roundup. We should pull them up on screen so people can see what.
Right. Yeah, I can do that now. Well, let's go. Let's finish what you're doing. I'll pull that up before the end of the show.
But no, I meant like on the weekend we can showcase all the ones.
Oh, right, the roundup thing, which I love actually. I mean, what's better than doing 5 shows, Jimmy?
Yeah, doing 6 where we get to talk about the last 5 shows that we did and the next 5 shows that we're gonna do.
Yeah, it's honestly, I knew we were onto something with that because like the first time we did it, I'm like, I forgot like how many awesome conversations. Like, it's that review is really good just for me. Like, oh man, like we're meeting the best people, and holy crap, here's what's coming up for the week. So anyway,
it's funny actually. Like, I actually have people reaching out to me, like asking me to like make introductions with other people now, and that's kind of fun. It's kind of like
that's the real secret sauce of where we're at.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's not that much to go through. I like this tweet as well, Brendan Blummer. I tried to tweet when EOS was at 420 today, but it didn't get big enough. And of course,
not long enough. Yeah, it screamed through 420 like it was stopped.
But of course, Boyd replied with, "Don't worry, Brendan, we got you covered."
Nailed it.
Boyd's awesome. Love those.
They are really good. They are really good.
And Womplay, shout out to Womplay. We have Adrian on the show all the time. They've got 100,000 EOS accounts were created on Womplay to play games. That's
wow, big. That's huge, especially considering like the nominal cost for those is like $2.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a non-trivial amount of resources. By the way, so Wax is 6 cents right now. I started telling people to get their butts into Wax at 3 cents. Just want to throw that out there. That's not financial advice. It's just advice that is financial. I fucking hate those caveats.
So if it goes back to 3 cents, get it again.
Well, and this is the thing, I think there's a really good possibility it's going to go back down to 4. And if it does, just sell your kidney. Don't do that. Obviously, it's a terrible idea.
And this is the last post of the week. So usually we try to collect them. I mean, you send me a bunch of stuff in the week, and I just have this running post, and I collect things and we throw them in here. But Chintai tokenized real estate, and we're trying to get someone from Chintai on here really soon. And they're super stoked. Sometimes the time difference is problematic, but expect to see them on here soon to talk about this, because they're one of those companies in the space that I've been following and had contact with for quite some time, like just on a casual basis. But they're one of those companies that always seems to be like head down building and doing amazing shit. So I'm really super stoked to talk to someone from that team. So, I don't know how many people are on there, but this is, we come on here and we do the show 5 days a week. But I definitely recommend watching this video if you haven't, by Naomi Brockwell. She's pretty awesome, actually. Like, she's not EOSIO focused, but she does. If you don't know who she is, she does a lot of really cool stuff in the space about freedom and rights. Lisa Chandler, actually, if you don't know who she is, you should definitely follow her. She talks about like the Ross Ulbricht cases and things like that as well. She's one of the few people I follow that I know that it actually had an interview with now the name's skipping my mind. The guy who the guy who the CIA was after for a while, who lived in Russia, who ratted out all the military shit. Snowden. So she had an interview with Snowden on her channel. So she's really awesome. If you're into this kind of whole decentralized thing, just to be decentralized, definitely check her out. I'd like to get her on at some point if we can. We promoted the hell out of Uplift Art because what happens tomorrow? Well, we have M Blue. What happens the day after? Well, on the 13th, we have the Collectible Love series going on sale. And what happens on the 14th or the 13th? I can't remember, but M Blue will be live with Anders to cover the event, and maybe some of the other people from our Uplift team. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there as well. So check these out. And Minecraft, we've dived in. This is really out of date because I had a photo today that you sent me that was awesome. But essentially, we've started putting all of these Minecraft demos in here. We've got the gratitude ceremony. We've got Ken Bozak. We have to actually. We've got the Discord set up now, thanks to you and Dr. Unani. So if you want to know what's going on in the Minecraft world, always hop in here. And like we said, next up we got NFT game day. So everything you need to know is here. If you think that there's something that we should include, please tag it. I put a lot of thought into finding good tweets for you guys that aren't like overrated, right?
Dude, members, people who watch our show should get access to this, but like this is an amazing amount of content. Like I would right now I would pay $5 a month for this. I know you.
Yeah, we could at some point, and it kind of flew under the radar. Like this is how we kind of started it all, and like the people who are with us back in the day. They know we put out one tweet a week. We embedded the video. We had one guest. We had some amazing guests. We had Ricardo, John. That was where we first met Adrian as well. And we did that for quite some time on a different channel actually, and that channel is linked below in our thing. But then we put it away from EOSIO Weekly, and I think these posts kind of got lost in the background. So it was really nice for me, and I think for you as well, to like bring this back. Like this is kind of where our roots were. This is where we started. We started collecting information, and we were going to be a news channel. But as Ken Bozak says, not just another Bitcoin podcast. We've become the not just another news channel, and it's taken on a whole life of its own. But we still want to put the news out there for you guys to see. So.
And I love having guests on Thursday, but honestly, like just being able to chat with you and chill has been really awesome.
And shout out, I would agree. Sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off. Shout out to Dr. Unani, because apparently the stream is live also right now on Discord.
Dr. Unani gave me a demo, and which is more like a teach the old man how to use Discord thing. And I actually bounced us live over there. Oh, hello, dog. How's it going there, buddy? So yeah, the and again, the Discord right now, Dr. Unani and his team are running it. It is exceptional already. The amount of work they've done to organize that, and they're actually going to be earning some railway plots for doing that kind of work. So if you can think of anything that we need and you want to earn some railway plots, you should probably get at me. Because those are going to be revenue generating pieces of property. So anyway,
and just off the back of that, we did discuss this on the weekly roundup, and we'll probably be throwing it out there again. But you and I, especially, I think we put a lot of time into this, and it's awesome when people donate stuff. But we're getting to the point right now where we can't keep up. So we're thinking of ways to like involve the community. If you want to help us out, like with some of the social stuff, we're open to some of that stuff. So Dr. Unani actually reached out on one of the live streams we had last week in person, actually, and that's how you made contact to him about the Discord, right? So we're always looking for new ways to tap into new communities. I mean, we push our content as far as we can, but we're only 2 people and we can't always get it out there. So if you want to be a part of, the I don't know even what we call it, because we're not a cabal, and if you want to be with Corery Cottrell and Jimmy D, just hit us up and we'll figure out a way for you to help us out.
It's gonna be the Uplifters secret Bushido training society.
Yes, but by the way, there's
a better name.
There's an X-nay on the name that you sent me, but we can still run with Bushido. We just can't add the other part because apparently apparently it's like that guy in California that has the tattoo that he thinks says like super cool samurai, but really it says cheesecake on a mountain.
That would be perfect. Wait, hold on. Can I get the actual translation for cheesecake on a mountain, please?
I don't know.
No, but like get it. No, like write this down. I want to know what it is.
Okay.
Because and then you guys are all here. You guys would know, but like our super secret like hyper ninja society would be called Cheesecake on a Mountain. Yes. That makes no sense, and I am here for it. So Dr. United said every community is going to be able to live stream, and those are communities that have clusters in the community cluster. And I'm gonna have to pull up a new picture of it, which is already out of date from last night. It's fucking massive now.
It's huge.
It's crazy. Like it's basically a who's who of everyone that we've talked to recently, and I am a little excited about it.
There's a really serious problem that we're having. It's because we keep just adding new people and we don't get launched.
We've been from the dev side, we've been waiting for this FIO drop so that we could basically put our nose to the grindstone after that and go full bore on the uplift. And I think targeting the alpha sale for 3 weeks from now is sort of what we're gunning towards. And I'm really, really hoping that we can do that, because we're gonna have to, this shit just needs to get done. Because we have so many other things to build.
And yes, Lisa, that is absolutely huge. We did talk about that last night, Corey. The Boyd QR code in the game, right?
That's next level. That's next level. Here we go. Save as. Boink.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be super exciting. Yeah. And I'm excited for the day that this channel kind of blows up, because we've got such an amazing community, and we you guys are awesome. You're always here and you're always helping us tweet stuff out. And I like the fact that we have reoccurring members that come back every day, or most days, but we also have members that pop in and out depending upon the day, right? NFT game day, we get Anders drops in once in a while, Ken Bozak drops in once in a while. You don't see Ken Bozak on BP on a Monday. That's cool. I know he's busy doing his own thing, and that's kind of what we want. We want to create this kind of community. So if you guys have any ideas for theme shows or guests that don't necessarily fit into our narrative, please hook us up with people. We've got a guest coming in next Tuesday that nobody's heard of. Even we haven't heard of him, and he was recommended to us by a friend of ours who's been on the show before, and he apparently has some really funny stories to tell us for Tech Talk on a Tuesday. So I'm super excited, and I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Like so if you guys know people that you think like would love to come on and talk with us, that's we're kind of like blockchain and crypto for the everyman, and we want everyman to feel a part of it, just like we do in this game, and we're like I don't think it's going to work out to be like this, but like I think there's going to be, because we're such a close-knit community, there's probably going to be people in various communities that have like one plot of land, like kind of like Boyd and Blockbase are kind of connected in a lot of ways. So there'll probably be a few people with a couple plots of land in those two things, right? Like Prospectors Tribal Books, like, they're kind of connected. Like, so there might be, depending upon the community, like there's a lot of people in the Crown DAC that like are active in other communities as well,
Yeah.
So like a lot of these communities, there's going to be crossover, but I was just thinking about like the number of the number of individual plots of just people coming in on a one-time basis and potentially having land. Like, it's crazy. It's like building one of those Chinese cities in the middle of the desert and then like terraforming around it to like create a whole new country. Like
that's what we're doing. That's absolutely what we're doing. And like the alpha sale, I think we're probably going to have. Originally, I was saying, oh, let's like sell a couple hundred plots or whatever. It's going to be like 1,000, right? With all the railway plots and all the plots for sale around the community cluster, which is growing in size. There's going to be rail plots all around the community cluster as well, and we're going to need them, which is going to be incredible, right? So we're going to build that out before the alpha because the survey team's going to be able to do that. So this is actually the old picture. I wanted people to get used to that. Dr. United said, what about projects not on Wax? Can they participate? Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, projects on like ERC20 projects, I would highly recommend that they, well, I mean, just flat out, they're going to have to wrap their token on a better thing to do the microtransactions, but they're definitely welcome because we want to make sure this is for everybody in the cryptocurrency space, and honestly, it's for everyone. Period. Right?
Well, we're going after. Wax might not even be an issue, right? Like you said, wrap their token to be a part of it. It's not.
If they want to offer rewards, anyway, anyone can come, right?
Yeah,
like, anyone can
like
come.
they could offer rewards in Wax and then transfer it back to Ethereum through
the bridge. Yeah, 100%.
Right?
And that's the thing. But are they welcome? 1,000,000%. Yes, they're welcome. We've even talked about sectoring out. Like if somebody gets 10 or 20 Ethereum projects as an example that want to create another community cluster, I will absolutely make it happen for them. Right. The Bitcoin thing is going on. You could set it up so that we can get rewards via that maybe once a day or something, but I'm going to do wrap Bitcoin because I want to give away 1 sat a day, right? So we have to do that. But definitely, absolutely, we want everyone who wants to be part of this is going to be welcome to it, whether it's DOT or we are chain agnostic. We're running our rewards on Wax because it's the easiest, smartest thing for us to do with rewards and NFTs. But anybody is going to be able to plug into our public API from the server and do rewards however they want to do it.
So the only thing that we sometimes fail to mention, we don't mention. There's only really one, in my opinion, I'm no expert either, but there's only really one choke point on this, and that's like just remember that you have to use the Java server. So you do have to pay that $20 or fee. I think it's $20 one-time fee, $20 to create the Minecraft account to be able to become in part of the game.
It's 27. Can you still hear me? My Chrome browser just froze up.
Yeah. No, it's fine. So like, and I think this is good for projects to be reminded of as well, right? Like if you're going to give land away to, well, I guess it's okay. I mean, Satoshi's got billions of Bitcoin, millions of Bitcoin, hundreds of Bitcoin. I don't even care how many Bitcoin there are. I mean, the price is skyrocketing, so it really doesn't matter. It's going to be unfathomable soon anyway. So, but anyway, like nobody's really paying attention to those Bitcoin that are never being used. But I think, again, not really my thing, but like I think Corey would probably agree, and I don't want to see him disappointed. Like I think we want people in the game that are active. We want people that are moving around, people that are having fun, right? I mean, you could award all your plots to Satoshi and hope that someday he shows up. I mean, can we do that? Can we make a little what's What was that?
Yeah, all my stuff froze up. Not sure what happened there.
There's a doppelganger in the house.
Right?
He's from another dimension. He just kind of pops in here and there. Yeah. So actually, we did talk about this on a previous podcast. I like that idea because it's tough. But yeah, why don't you take that one, Corey?
Sorry, which one?
The one that's on the screen right now.
Oh yeah, so or you certified builders. Crownlandia is sponsoring licenses for certified builders. Sponsoring licenses. That's hilarious. So a new concept as of this morning. So and again, we're talking about building. Are we still talking about building in the uplift? I want to make sure.
Yeah. Well, I think totally.
Okay. Yeah, Greg, and Crown, and really, so Greg is the mayor of Chicken Ka'a, which is the Western City. That's Western City in Mayan, or I have to remember what the actual language is because I don't think it's Mayan. But I basically, set it up so that that city is going to be a DAO. It is out of our company's control now, which is actually our vision for the entire thing. And Greg is the mayor of that place, which I thought was really hilarious, and he should be the mayor. He's that kind of guy. So he's talking with Crown about offering some land in the city. And of course, all those collaborations increase the value for that place, and they need some builders. And there's a group of 10 people there, give or take, that are quite good. So getting licensed Minecraft builders and sort of having that as like a roster. There's a lot of people that are looking to spend actual money on getting things built out inside the uplift. So having that as an option and basically connecting people who want to work to connecting people who want to pay to get some cool stuff built. That's just a good idea.
I love that idea, but you and I might have to set up an alternative competing idea because life's no fun without competition. So maybe what we have to do is we have to contract Boyd and be like, if we like contract out your builders, maybe the payment is like you buy a whole bunch of Boyd and you burn it so that like it increases the token value of the users. I'm kind of joking about that, but Lisa, your idea is awesome, and there's so many ways to like gamify that contract, the contractual builders thing. And I think that's really cool, is because like to have people in the game, myself included, who just want to come in and have fun and not have the stress of like learning how to build things up for their own initial communities, and to be able to involve like people who are in the game who don't really know about cryptocurrency and enable them with the skills that they have, like building crazy freaking machines that mine algae or, spaceships that, are probably going to fly someday. And we don't even know how they built the thing in the first place.
Can we subcontract you? So basically Lisa's she knows what's up. So instead of, she's like, before we're even competing with her, she's co-opting us. They're like, hey, maybe you guys can we'll subcontract to you, and you can just use our builders to, do stuff in, the community cluster, for example, which is actually a really good idea because who has freaking time for that?
Yeah,
and they do all the back end. And Jimmy, you just benefit because we're talking to people about the uplift. They're like, oh my God, I need a builder. And Jimmy's like, we got you. And then we call Lisa and Greg, and then we just make a dope deal and everything's good. You just get waxed because again, Jimmy needs a bigger bag of wax. I'm just gonna say that out loud. It's what needs to happen. So anything we can make, possible to make that happen, we should do.
Yeah, the old school wax on, wax off type of thing.
I see what you did there, because it's like that was like a callback to a movie, but we were talking about wax the cryptocurrency.
Man, I'll be honest, let's get real for a minute. It drives me absolutely nuts every time I have to do a hashtag wax on Twitter, because I'm probably sure it's going to some weird.
Oh, this is why you do wax P.
Yeah, I just do at wax.io. I know it's
that makes sense too. That doesn't hurt my feelings.
But yeah, I like it. Yeah, so I like it. I like everything about this, actually. It's funny because I was talking to my mate today earlier, and he gave me a table, so I went over and I got the table from him, and we were talking, and he showed me his man cave, and he's a kind of a collector, and he has some cool stuff, and I looked at it, and after we left, we decided to go and have a beer in town, and we were walking and we were talking, and then I thought it's quite interesting, because if you think about it, you know, your wife, your missus is like a little bit upset because you keep buying this stuff and like having it sent to your house because, you know, you're collecting these old cards and things like this. It's like, we got to get together with my missus, because my missus is like looking at me like I'm crazy. But like sometimes I take a step back and I look at myself like I'm crazy. I'm like I didn't even really think that I knew what Minecraft was until, like, you know, I met you. And then we got involved with this, and then we got involved with gaming. And it's like, you know, I'm not a gamer. Like, the closest I get to being a gamer is like when somebody in one of my classes, you know, mentions the name Mario, and I go dun 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 dun. Like, that's about like as close as I've been for like the last 10 years. But like, you know, I went off the map like with a couple games, and a couple people, you know, for like 6 months at a time, and I just get buried in this game, and then like I don't play a game for, you know, a couple years or something, right? But like, I'm super excited about this, because to me, this isn't a game. This is a building opportunity. This is an opportunity to come in and learn new skills and hang out with like-minded people. And I think this is probably where you guys started this, and where the idea of this thing came from in the first place. It's less about the game and more about connecting with people. And it's just expanded to this reality whereby you have all of these people, like you said, chain agnostic communities that can potentially come in and just be with like-minded people. I mean, you know, we can throw off the shackles of being, you know, laughed at in the streets because we're crypto hodlers in this game, until the time where we actually have our revenge of the Kryptonians and take over the world. I mean, this is the place that we can do that, right here, you know, where these amazing monuments of spaceships and love and beautiful women holding up buildings are being created. So. What are we looking at on the screen? I think you want to go over that, because I don't think we've released that yet. And this is quite an integral part of what's coming up in the next couple of days. If you turn to your left, actually.
Yeah. So I want to show people how close this is, because it's all in the same place. And that's kind of an important thing, relatively speaking. So if you've seen the Uplift Art Spaceman drop, a lot of that stuff got thrown in there. We special built that. The one of one that went to the highest bidder, and the whole thing got that big spaceship thing. And I just like sunsets because they're cool. So this is my latest creation in here. And it is basically the Temple of Love for collectible love for the latest Tiamo drop. We included one of my old songs that I updated a little bit. And so this is going to be a one of one, and it'll be a land key NFT. So they basically own this little part of the map, right? Looks really good at night. And yeah, so the highest bidder for the Tiamo drop is going to get this, and it's actually a music video NFT with a song that I previously released that I wrote for Babs. That's as cheesy a love song as you will ever hear, and it comes straight from the frickin' heart. Yeah, and it's gonna be this. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool monument, actually. And it comes with the you know, all the bells and whistles of the land key rights to that.
Yeah, and there's enough room you could actually build some things around it too if you wanted to in the thing. Anyway, so I was going to we should probably wrap up before too long, and
we should. But yeah, so Sir JG cracks me up. Not to be confused with the wiped out race of Kryptonians.
Yeah, as Bodhi said, nice curves. I actually had to like modify them a great deal because
I'm gonna send you a picture. It's funny because I actually, when I first moved to Japan, I was kind of, you know, I'm all alone, you know, like the donkey sings in Shrek. But I kind of tapped into my creative impulse, and I wrote this story. And each story was based around one photo of a woman in, you know, kind of a strange, this sounds a lot better in my head than it's going to sound outside of it, but a woman in some kind of strange positioning, and
yep,
it was a silhouette, and everyone seems to have their own love story, but for me, the love story that I hold on to is one picture that I made, and the woman was like a meld of a tree trunk and palm branches holding up these palm trees, and that was one of the first gifts that I actually gave to my wife. So it was kind of cool, right? Like there was different aspects, like a woman as a wave, for example, in the ocean, and a woman as a something tied into Gemini, and a woman playing on the moon, actually, dancing on the moon like a gymnast, kind of hanging with her toes in the half moon, and there were all these kind of aspects about it. So that maybe that's why that image that you showed earlier kind of speaks to me, because it's those curves. That's something that I do well. If someone jumps in right at that minute, that they're gonna just
whoa
10 minutes, because you'll get the context.
Jimmy's talking again on the internet. Anyway, so yeah, it is still PG-13. It is, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Asmodi, I'm gonna throw that on there, and thank you. I'll definitely add a few gratitudes for people. If you want to throw them in the comments, I'd be happy to put them up on the wall. But I wanted to show you this, Jimmy. Obviously, we have a couple from Ken Bozak here, but the ones on the left side of this main thing here are all Luke Stokes' kids. I'm grateful for food and water. Monet, who I met this morning, who is adorable. I'm grateful for the price of crypto. Luke Stokes, obviously. Grateful for my friends. Devin is, I think he's maybe 9. I'm guessing. Sorry, Luke, if I got that wrong. Devin is like a Minecraft super wizard. He's actually going to be running point on the FIO protocol land. Like, full stop. That's happening, right?
Awesome.
And he's stoked about it, and I think he's going to be running circles around us.
I see what you did there. He's stoked about it.
I did. Oh, that's so sad. Grateful for my family, Aria, which is one of Luke's daughters, and Kareen is his wife. I'm grateful for learning new skills. She didn't use the Z, but I got to type that because I felt like it. So anyway, it was just really, really awesome to have a conversation with them this morning. Anyway, so I will start with Asmodi.
Yeah, you got to start with Asmodi. That's a great one.
Is that spelled right? It is. Just looks weird. All right. Thanks, Dr. Unani. I got you. I gotcha.
So yeah, while you do this, anyone who's still here and listening, make sure you guys come with your questions tomorrow, because we're gonna have M Blue of Uplift Art, and the new drop is happening the day later. So it's kind of it's a very similar drop mechanic to what happened with Mr. Spaceman, but there were some things that were a little bit confusing. So if you're still confused, ask those questions in our chat, and we'll get them out to be answered.
What are you grateful for, Jimmy?
I'm grateful to go back to our roots. That's a triple, quadruple, pentacle innuendo, but yeah, mostly where I'm coming from is like, it's nice just to sit here, like you said, and have a cup of coffee and do this. I'm Jimmy.
What? Jimmy D.
You did it. Okay, sweet. I thought it was Jimmy. I thought you missed an M there. There was too many humps in the camel's back, Yeah.
Hey,
what?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to. I just want to. Say that like it's cool to do this sometimes, and I like going through the news, and like maybe if you guys are out there in the audience are interested in it, like seeing those tweets and seeing our commentary, like it's something that we can bring back. Like we don't always have to have a guest, so let us know what you guys think, and if you want to see more of Jimmy D and Corey, our commentary on the space in the world, then we're happy to give it to you.
All right. I'm gonna bore you guys, and obviously everybody's invited to join this stream Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The second that we see the first little bit of light, I want everyone to just stop and take a really deep breath together at exactly the same time. I'll tell you when. The waiting for it is the best part.
Yeah, I'm constantly wondering whether my computer screen froze again.
All right, right now. Deep breath, everybody. I actually do this sometimes. I'll just come in here during the day and just steal a few breaths. And you can do this wherever you are, whenever you want to do it. I put off learning how to do that for a long time. It was actually Finney from Finney Helps and Dr. Wayne. We do the brainstorming sessions on Saturday. It was they just kind of stopped and sort of made me do that during one of the calls. And that's why it's kind of part of what we do Sunday mornings now. But I hope to see all of you in game very, very soon. And anytime you want, you can come here and wait for the sunrise and bring some friends and just take a single deep breath when the sun rises. And that's good stuff.
We're not going to do the thing. I think that's a wrap.
We're not going to do the thing, Jimmy? Like for real? No, the thing?
Not today. I think that was where we need to end, because that was a really deep thing to leave.
Thanks. But now I want the thing.